Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. So today I'm going to show you how a little bit of bleach, an empty 2-liter soda bottle, a clear one, and a small flashlight can light up a whole room. So ladies and gentlemen, there's actually a story behind this. And of course, you know I love to talk, so I have to tell you a story. This just came upon me a couple of days ago because I was talking to someone who lives in a different country where they lose power a lot about lighting. And they told me, I keep losing power and I was down to one flashlight and I barely had enough power to get me through until the power came back on so I can recharge it. And I remember seeing a video a long time ago. This was years ago. I don't even know if I can still find the video. But it was a video about how these small villages in Africa were able to light the inside of their mud huts. All right? They didn't have any electricity. And even during the day, their living space inside of their huts was dark because they had no way of getting light in there. So what they did was they went ahead and rounded up some 2-liter bottles of clear plastic. They filled up their 2-liter bottles with water and then put in about 1 or 2 ounces of bleach in that water. Then what they did was put holes on top of their ceilings that were just big enough for these bottles to fit in and get locked in there. And then during the day, the light from the sunlight would reflect off of the water that had bleach in it inside the bottle and illuminate the inside of their home. So a way that I think that we can use this method in order to conserve energy is by doing the same thing here, but figuring out a way to replace the light of the sun with the light of a very small flashlight that uses very little energy. So that's what we're going to do today. First thing I'm going to do is fill up this bottle with water. Then I'll come back and I'll show you guys me putting the bleach in. And then I'm going to take that bottle with the small flashlight and I'm going to get some weaker flashlights as well so that we can go to the darkest room in my house and see how well it works. So welcome, and we'll be right back. All right, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I went ahead and filled up the bottle almost all the way up to the top. And if you see these dentures on the bottle, you see these little suck in points. This plastic bottle, I had long grain rice stored in it, and I'm rotating it. So I just put it into my rice container, and now I'm using this bottle for this. So let's go ahead and put some bleach. I'm going to be pretty liberal with the bleach. You should only have to use about an ounce or so. It looks like I'm probably using about 2 or 3 ounces. But that's all we have to do. That's the hardest part. Now we're going to shake it up. And we're going to take it to the darkest room in my house and see what it looks like. I almost forgot something, ladies and gentlemen. You're also going to need a small piece of foil paper or tin foil with some tape to tape on your bottle as such. All right, what this is going to do, this is going to act as a reflector. And I think you're going to like at how much you can get from a small light source by using this method. All right, I think it's going to be enough to illuminate my entire room. And when I say illuminate, I don't mean that it's going to be as bright as the sun, but what it'll do is it will multiply the light ray that is coming out of the flashlight to a point where you will be able to see the entire room instead of that specific area that you were pointing at with your flashlight. So we'll be back in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the darkest room in my house. This room is dark about 99% of the time. Only time we turn the light on in here is when we need to come in here and get something. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning on my flashlight and I'm going to show you how much of that light is dispersed throughout the room. So a flashlight, depending on what you get, is usually a directional beam. It gives you so many degrees of span and you'll be able to see mainly the things that are in front of you. All right, so here we go. So this is a flashlight, and as you can see, when I'm pointing it at something, it does a very good job. This is a very nice little flashlight. I actually have it in my Amazon storefront. They're only like $10, and they are very nice. If you can see it, see that? This is the Olight 3E. The Olight 3EI, I believe is the name. Very nice flashlight, very good price. So as you can see, I'm pointing it at something, and it does a great job, right? However, if you go and turn around, I'm still pointing it in the same direction. You can still kind of see the room, you know, not too bad. But if you see that I go ahead and do this and point the flashlight at the bottle, now look at the difference throughout the room. All right, you can see everything still. You can see everything without having to squint, especially with the aluminum foil that we put in there. Now, if you want to go ahead and change the direction, you can change this. See? Change the direction of the aluminum foil to give you better lighting somewhere else. Or you can have two bottles next to each other with the aluminum foils pointed at the direction that you want. But as you can see, I want to show you, this is the farthest point away. I'm going to take the light off. See? That's pointing at the same direction that I was pointing at before. And that's what we get. Now, if we put the light on the bottle, look at how much the room is entirely illuminated. You can even see over there. You know, you can't see it with as much brightness as you were before because you were just pointing the flashlight directly at it. But you can see everything in the room. And of course, this is my pantry, ladies and gentlemen. So I think this is a great way of being able to illuminate an entire room with using very, very little energy. Because the energy that that flashlight is using is very small. And we can take an even less effective flashlight, the little flashlight off of this one right here. And although it won't be as bright, it will still be bright enough to illuminate the whole room. I mean, look at that. You can see everything up there, everything. Whereas, let me take the flashlight again and point it to that now. See? Can't really see anything up there. But if I put it back here where it was, we can see. All right? You can see good enough to get what it is that you need. And ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, light is a very big morale booster. If you don't have any electricity and your lights go out and you're in complete darkness, it's a big downer. All right, it's a big psychological downer. That's what I would call it, for lack of better terms. But with light, it really helps to boost your morale, believe it or not. It's in there in our psyche. So as you can see again, I'm pointing the flashlight right at the bottle. And as you can see, we can see everything in here. I mean, and what I mean by seeing everything, ladies and gentlemen, is see everything good enough to where you don't have to squint, right? We take away the flashlight and just point it away. Now, if you were in here, you would have to squint to try to find something. But just using this small amount of energy that's coming from this light, we can illuminate the whole room. And believe it or not, I think this will work in an even larger room. All right, so let's go ahead and try out the flashlight that's a little less effective. So this is the flashlight I was using. And this is the one I'm trying now. All right, so let's go ahead and try that one out. So even with that one, we still have pretty good results. And I'm going to go ahead and aim it away from the bottle. I'm aiming it down there in the same place that I was aiming it at before. You see that? Aiming it down in the same spot as it was before. Really can't see anything. But once we put our flashlight on the bottle, you can see everything pretty darn well. So you don't need that many lumens in order to be able to light an area well enough for you to be able to walk through and be comfortable with, and even just sit around having some light with your family. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, listen, this is probably one of my shortest videos, so thank you very much for stopping in. And ladies and gentlemen, I truly believe that this is a very good idea. A very good idea to have some 2-liter bottles that are real clear plastic with a little bit of bleach that you can do this with. Because if you have a good stock of, let's say, AA batteries, you can definitely make those batteries go a much longer way if you do something like this. I mean, look at that light. Look at how much light is reflecting off of that. And with that aluminum foil in the back, I think it makes it much better. And if you wanted to, I mean, you can still see pretty well. But if you wanted to, all you have to do is move this a little bit, and then you can see even better. And then direction it to where you want to see better. But pretty much this will light up the whole room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in. I hope you guys give this a try. Just give this a try and see if it will work where you're at. See if it'll work for you. And I think it's a good idea to have something like this around. I think it'll do a great job. Having said that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I am out.